Mr. Mankwa, me offer was a niska bani di awie ni project no. Eso de bia me offer sika mane wo problem.
Enemremu. Na monte tap sending kan.
No so ne de
Tap send easy, fast and secured way. Ubetimi send this sika free amanone. Aba Ghana bank account and as a mobile money account. Untia transfer fee bia.
Sir, I obey ni say.
Chene se won ko App Store na Play Store. On download the tap send app no. Or download ya. Ebebu sanso promo code. Oma the pet TV shim. Obenya €5, £5, and answer $10 on his first transfer.
And you make kwa friend na catch them.
Tabi minyanwe. Esanse tap send at the good news aba. Tap send the gina the customers won't or the tap send wallet aba.
I know be any say.
So your customer who you kesesia. Ubetimi akọ tap send app no no create wallet wo so. Enti se rate ne kosora now the sika ko gu wallet no. Anase mpo betimi atususu nkakra enti abere sema opeso send sika ba Ghana no anse wa send sika na ba Ghana anase oba o my Ghana mu watimi use sika e wo wallet no tie
and you said to say you use momo Ghana haydo
sa pepe se see tap send that trena United Arab Emirates, Netherlands and Austria. Tap send na papa no.
Hello, this is Lawyer Wisdom of Wise Smart Solicitors. Join me this and every Friday on OT TV from 8 to 9 p.m. for all your UK immigration matters. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and good evening. Welcome to another Wednesday evening of our Health Talk. Hello.
Hello. Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna Hi guys. So today's an exciting day. Obviously, last week we had a special time. And I thank you again everybody for joining us. I thank you all our faithful watchers for always joining us. Just before we start, just like to introduce ourselves. So my name is Akus.
And I'm Abina. And together we are the Oasis. We'll put our details in the chat very soon, where you can find us on social media and everything. So shall we get started then? So as you may or may not know, May is the month of a mental awareness. Mental health awareness month. So it's quite fitting that today we've got a nurse practitioner who's going to speak to us about low moods and how to handle your mental health. Isn't that right, Akos?
Yeah, that's right. And actually, today is an extra special one because it's not just about mental health awareness as well. But on the 12th of May, it was National Nurses Day. So we thought it was just fitting to bring in a nurse to come and talk to us, and again, sort of combining the two. So with no further ado, I'd like to invite, and I'll give you a little bit of history between myself and Jen. So I started working in a new hospital recently, as you all know. And literally, when I got there, she was one of the Ghanaian nurses that I got to meet, but she's been really lovely. And she's made my time in the hospital very worthwhile and very nice. And and I always enjoy going to work she works in accident and emergency, so she does all the hard work. And I always enjoy spending my time in ED, because I know that if I walk into ED and I see Jenifer there, then I know that it's going to be a good shift. So without further ado, I'd like to invite our good friend Jenifer Meizer. I hope I said your last name right, but Meizer, to give us a talk about how to combat low mood and depression.
Thank you very much. I'm very privileged to be part of this platform. I never knew such a big platform existed, and I'm really, really happy to be here today. I just want to highlight this disclaimer before I start, that although I'm going to talk about low mood and depression, it's just an information section, and it does not replace the advice you get from your GP or from your psychotherapist. So without much ado, I've got a slide. Unfortunately, I'm unable to share my slides here. So if Dr. Akosia could help me do that, That would be very
You should
handy.
be able to have access to it, but let me see. Hold on. I've got them here.
So I just want to say before the slide starts that low mood and depression is very common, and we all feel low sometimes, which is not bad, but we just don't want it to progress into depression, you see. So if someone is currently battling low mood now, I just want to let the person know he or she will be fine, and it's just part of life. We just don't want it to progress into depression, you see. Yeah, so my slide actually starts with an illustration.
Come in.
It's an illustration.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. So it starts with an illustration about a gentleman called Kwame who relocated to UK from Ghana and faced some challenges which caused low mood. So
technical issues.
Well, it's fine.
Literally, look. Can you not share your screen? You should be able to share. If you've got it, you should be able to share your screen.
Well, let me see.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, brilliant.
Oh wait, hang on. It's not the slide I wanted to share with me. Sorry. Oh dear.
Okay,
no, this as well.
And okay. In the meantime, is that the right slide?
No. Oh wait.
Oh, hold on.
Able to share yours.
Mine's opening up now, so
okay.
I apologize, guys, for the technical issue. It's just taking longer than it usually does. I don't know why.
All good.
Traffic.
In the end, we'll be edified, so it's all good.
Yes, we will be. In the meantime, Abuna, tell us a joke.
Oh, me, I don't know jokes, so me name joke me.
You know what, Jen? Can you maybe just start? Can you just start the talk while can you do it without the slides? Are you able to?
Yeah, I could try with just something simple, but I'm also really trying hard to find a slide. So hang on. So I'm just trying to find, but the illustration is about a gentleman called Kwame who relocated to UK from Ghana with his family 2 years ago. He was working in the top-notch pharmaceuticals when he came to UK, and he absolutely loved his job. However, early this year, Kwame lost his job due to redundancies in the workplace, and now he wakes up every day with nothing to do. He feels he has disappointed his family as he is unable to provide for his wife and kids. And because he has no fixed routine anymore, he sleeps a lot as a form of escape. He is in constant arguments with his wife and has low self-esteem. And this has been his life for 2 to 3 months now. He also isolates himself from family and friends, and it's becoming a bit difficult. He's not able to send money back home since he barely has something to survive on. Things keeps on getting worse. He thinks, oh, could I have worked harder? I'm hopeless and good for nothing. People think I'm useless, which is normal, something we usually think about. And he's also stopped attending all social events. These few days, he stays in bed much longer and keeps the blinds closed and ignores personal. But at this point, it's very obvious Kwame is experiencing low mood, which is gradually. Hang on, I think I'm trying to get this right.
Sorry.
Okay. I think I'm able to get the slides now. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
I have the slides, but I'm not able to share my screen, so I'm just trying to work. I'm trying to. Yeah.
Can you see my screen now?
We can see it, but it's like on the file, so we can't see the slides. We can just see the file.
Oh yeah. I'm coming. You see it now?
Can anyone, Abena, can you see her slides? No. So OT Media, can you make me admin, please? Can you make me host, please? OT.
I'm just getting a weird message on my screen saying hacked by.
Yeah. It seems like someone's hacked into the system, so it's not you. I'm just trying to get somebody to make me the host so that I can do OT. Are you there? Can you make me a host? Wait, Abena, have we lost you? Abena, are you here? Okay, sorry, Jenifer, if you just hold on 2 seconds, we're clearly having some technical issues. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna make a phone call.
Mr. Mankwa, me office was any scabania de wieni project no. Esu de bia me office ka mane wo problem.
Enemremu. Na monte tap sending kan.
No so ne de.
Tap send here easy, fast and secured way. Ubetimi send this free amanone. Aba Ghana bank account and as a mobile money account. Untia transfer fee bia.
Sir, I obey any say.
Chene se wonko App Store na Play Store. On download the tap send app no. Or download ya. Ebebusan so promo code. Oma the pet TV shim. Obenya €5, £5, and answer $10 on his first transfer.
And you make kwa friend a catch them.
Tabi minyanwe. Esansa tap send at the good news aba. Tap send the giving the customers wanti or the tap send wallet aba.
I know about any say.
So your customer who you kesisia. Ubetimi akọ tap send app no nu create wallet woso. Enti se rate ne kosora now the sika kogu wallet no. Anase mpo betimi atu susun kakra. Enti abre sema opeso send sika ba Ghana no. No anse wa send sika na ba Ghana. Anase oba o my Ghana mu a watimi use sika e wo wallet no no. Tie.
And you said to say you use momo Ghana hey no.
Sa pepe. Se si tap send that trainer shim. Kopiem wo United Arab Emirates, Netherlands and Austria. Tap send na. Papa no.
Hello.
After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartment, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination. with fantastic residential features, which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Selton Sky, a new perspective in the sky. After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartment, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Selton Sky. Selton Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination. With fantastic residential features, which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Selton Sky, a new perspective in the sky.
Okay, hello and welcome back. We really apologize for all these hackers that are trying to sabotage the show, but they will not stop us. So we'll come back harder and we'll come back greater. So once again, really apologize to Jenifer for obviously you were rudely interrupted halfway, like not halfway, but throughout your presentation. So we're going to try and get you back. I'd also like to apologize in advance for Abena. So she was removed off the program somehow, which means she's not able to get back into it. She is trying, but she might not be able to get access back, which means you're stuck with me, unfortunately, for today. So yeah, but phew. Without further ado, again, Jen, I don't know, can you share your screen again? Are you able to share the screen? yeah, just try again and see if you're able to. You're on mute as well, Jen. Let's see if I can unmute you. Yep, there you go.
I think the host disabled participant screen sharing, so I'm not able to share my screen.
Oh yeah, I guess. I guess it's because of what was going on. Let's see if I can give you access, just you. Yep. So I'm just gonna try and give you. See if you can share it.
Not even showing now. I don't get that feature. Enable me to share my screen. Anyway, I could, yeah. Maybe I could just.
You know what? Actually, let me see if I can share. So I've got this. Can you see the screen? This.
Yeah.
Is that the use?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what I wanted.
Okay, then we'll use this one. All right. Can you go off it then?
Yeah, so I gave an illustration earlier on about Kwame, who relocated from Ghana to the UK and faced a lot of issues, losing his job and finding it difficult to cope with life, feeling disappointed and all that. And he starts to think whether he could have worked harder. He starts to think whether he's hopeless, thinking people think he's useless because he's lost his job. What made matters worse was that Kwame stopped attending all social events, and the following days, he stays much longer in bed. So we got to know Kwame is experiencing low mood, which is gradually progressing into depression. So someone may ask, what is low mood and what is depression? So we can skip to the other slides. To the next year, So low mood is an emotional state which is characterized by sadness, anxiety, and low self-esteem. So we all get low sometimes, and we get these characteristics. We feel sad, we are anxious, and it decreases our self-esteem. Whereas depression is a low mood that lasts for weeks, months, and affects your daily life. So when you feel low and it lasts for weeks, days, months, years, that means it's gradually aggravating into depression, and you don't want that to happen. So we go on to the next slide, which is the symptoms of low mood. So low mood is mostly triggered by something. It could be a breakup, it could be divorce, it could be losing your job, it could be you not being treated fairly at workplace. So it starts with you feeling very sad, and the sadness leads you to feel extremely anxious or panicky. You get more tired than usual because you lose appetite to eat, and you lose energy to do the things you enjoy doing. Sometimes people tend to sleep more than usual, or people are not able to sleep at all because they keep on thinking about stuff which could happen. Also, you get extremely angry or frustrated almost all the time. Because you are very low, anything can trigger you to just be very frustrated and furious at any time. It progresses to you feeling low self-esteem and low confidence. So things you were able to do with much confidence, because you are very low, you don't feel you have the zeal to do it as you used to do. And what I want us to notice that once you start feeling low for 2 weeks or more, it's becoming something serious, and you need to seek for professional help, because it could be a sign of depression, you see. What then are the symptoms of depression? So low mood can progress into depression. And what makes you know you are getting depressed, what makes you know this thing is aggravating, is you get no enjoyment out of life. And this is a bit serious, because once we don't get enjoyment, once we don't enjoy a particular game or food, we tend to choose another alternative, another option. We get another option of food to eat. We tend to choose another option of game. But once you get no enjoyment out of life, it's worse, because the next thing you are thinking is death. The next thing you are thinking is you don't want to even exist anymore. Also, you feel hopeless. You lack concentration and drive to do everyday life things. So people who are mostly depressed, they don't get the zeal to even get out of the bed to do life things like bathing, brushing of teeth. And eventually, if it's not treated, it could lead to suicidal ideations and thoughts. So you start thinking of harming yourself or harming people close to you. And mostly we don't want it to get to that point, because it's very difficult to get people out of their depressive thoughts. So how then do you want to cope with your low mood and depression? One thing I'll advise everyone to do is to talk to your family or a trusted friend. You shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. I know when we are all feeling low, we just like to be in our beds and just feel isolated and just focus on ourselves. But trust me, that doesn't help at all, because keeping isolated makes matters worse, and you tend to have a lot of negative thoughts. So rather than keeping yourself isolated, please talk to your family, talk to your friend, tell them how you are feeling, just let it out, and definitely you're going to get help. Also, keep up with essential things no matter how bad you feel. So people who tend to have low mood can stay in bed for a day or two without bathing or even brushing their teeth, because they are very low and they are depressed and they don't want to get out of bed. But such people find it very difficult to return to the normal, because once you skip a bath today or tomorrow, it becomes more difficult for you to have the zeal to go for your bath the next 3 days, the next 4 days, and you pile up things which frustrates you a lot. Also, your room starts getting messy and you don't have the zeal to tidy up your room. It starts getting messier, and whenever you see the pile, it doesn't even give you the motivation to start. So you can just make a contract with yourself that no matter how low I feel, I'm going to stand up. At least I'm going to bath. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to keep up with personal hygiene, and it will help you cope with the low mood a bit. Also, you should watch out for upsetting thoughts like I'm worthless or this is all my fault. So Kwame in the illustration started thinking, oh, could I have worked harder? Oh, I'm so hopeless. My family may think I'm useless because I'm not working now. So you should watch out for those thoughts, because to be frank, these unhelpful thoughts are not true. In Kwame's case, there was a redundancy and he had to be evicted from work. There was actually nothing he could do about it. But here he is thinking about how he could have saved his job. Rather than thinking of these upsetting thoughts, please focus on upbuilding things. So in Kwame's case, he could focus on how to search for new jobs, how to prepare well for interviews, how to build his personal life, because you don't want to dwell most on the negative, which will make you feel bad. Also, you should say yes to invitations and phone calls from family members or friends. When people are low in mood, the least thing they want to do is to accept phone calls from their families and friends. First, because they are embarrassed, the person will ask, "You are not yourself today. Are you okay?" And also, they don't really feel the zeal. They don't have that vibe to speak to people. And if you don't take care, you'll be very isolated, which is very bad. People tend to avoid the things they usually do. So let's say someone was a regular church member, the person just stops church. Let's say someone was a regular gym member, the person stops attending the gym, which is very bad. Let's say if someone was a basketball player, the person just stops. I know that is the least thing you want to do in your life, to go out and socialize. But if you keep in your comfort zone, just lie in your bed, trust me, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. You need to go out, You need to go out, meet people, share your feelings with people, because we don't want it to aggravate into depression, major depression, or even having suicidal thoughts. The next thing you want to do is, you don't want to drink too much. You don't want to smoke as an escape. A lot of people think when they drink too much, when they drink a lot of alcohol, it's going to help them forget about what is happening, which is a lie, because it's just a temporal measure of coping. But as time goes on, your problem will bounce back to you. So you don't want to use smoking and drinking as an escape mechanism, because these can also aggravate low mood. The next thing is, it's very difficult to do this, but I have to say, do not focus on the things you cannot change. There is a breakup, you can't change a breakup. There is a divorce, you can't change the divorce. You've lost your job, you can't change it. Try to tilt your mind from thinking too much about the divorce or breakup. Focus your time and energy in helping yourself feel better. So focus your time and energy in building yourself rather than thinking of what has happened. I know it's so difficult because I found myself in a low mood situation, but trying to tilt your mind to helpful things, trying to even help others makes you feel better. And the last thing is for you to seek professional help, because sometimes you may apply all these advices, yet still you may not feel better. Maybe you are now currently battling with major depression, or you've given birth and you're having postpartum depression. These advices may not help you. You need to seek professional help. Or maybe you have bipolar and you are in your depressive episode, because people with bipolar tends to have this depressive episode, the manic depressive episodes. These advices may not help. So you need to seek professional help. Book an appointment with your GP or a psychologist or a psychotherapist and just share your feeling, because we don't want it to progress into suicidal thoughts, because that would be a very black hole and we don't want it to progress to that far. So I just would like to conclude that we all feel low sometimes, but we can win the battle. So we have to speak to someone so it doesn't progress into depression, or it doesn't progress into suicide or anything. Thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That was actually very, very, it was informative. And I think, it's one thing that we usually don't think about. Well, except myself, I can speak for myself, especially how we usually talk about depression. We don't think about how, it starts, or how it can go from just something as low mood, because I think everybody here can attest to the fact that we've probably all had low mood at one point in our lives or another. So it's definitely, I think it was a nice transition how you talked about it, and I really enjoyed that. So before we get into questions and answers, guys, remember that this is the OT Health Talk. So essentially, as much as you can ask questions about the topic that was discussed here today, this is also the platform where you've got a GP and a nurse, so health professionals, so you can ask any question at all. So any health question or any, it can be for yourself or a friend, it can just be something you saw on the news, anything at all, not just for depression. This is the space to ask the question, I'll get answered. If you don't want to, talk, or if you want to be anonymous, you can drop me a message in the side in my direct inbox. If you've got our contact details or whatever, just once we've got the message, we can read out the message and we can answer the message. Okay. So before we go on to the Q&A section, we're just going to pause for a short break and then we'll come back for the Q&A session. Thank you, Jen. Short break. Or maybe we'll postpone the break for today. Okay, so let's go on to the first question. I wanted to ask, and by the way, the last question.
After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartment, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination, with fantastic residential features which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Sultan Sky, a new perspective in the sky.
Hello, this is Lawyer Wisdom of Wismart Solicitors. Join me this and every Friday on OT TV from 8 to 9 p.m. for all your UK immigration matters. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for that. So once again, thank you, Jen, for what a lovely presentation. I'd just like to acknowledge some people on here. I can see some of our faithful watchers who join us every week. So I see Tilly. Thanks, Tilly, for joining. I see Alohan. Thanks for joining. I see Liz was here earlier, but I don't see her anymore. So if you're still around, Liz, thank you for joining. And thank you, Rita. Thanks to everybody who always joins. Okay, so we've got a question in the chat which says, how can I approach a person who's depressed, and what are the signs to look out for?
Well, that's a very brilliant question, because we get to see people around us, and it's sometimes difficult to identify people who are depressed. So you have to first identify the person who is depressed. People tend to hide it very much. But if that person is your close friend, or if that person is someone close to you, I assume you know the baseline of that person. So you have a friend, and your friend is very neat. Your friend is a very clean person, but you just visited the person and you realize the house is very unkept, the house is very untidy, which is not your friend, which is not something your friend mostly do. And you ask your friend, oh, why is your room very untidy? And the person just brush it off. You just have this gut feeling something is not right. Your friend may be going through a lot psychologically, and you would like to draw close to the person. So the first thing is, for you to identify whether something is wrong, you have to know your friend's baseline. You also have a friend who likes to giggle a lot about funny stuff. But this time, he or she appears very serious, and it has happened for days. It's constantly happening. You say something which is very funny, the person doesn't find it very funny anymore. You just notice there is something wrong. Always trust your gut feeling. You feel something is not right. The person may not admit it. So if let's say I meet Dr. Akosia at work tomorrow, I see, oh, Dr. Akosia is not herself today. She will not admit it. But as time goes on, I get to see this is getting worse. You can just do something little by always asking the person, are you okay? How are you doing? Is there something I can do to help? Because it's a matter of establishing trust. If I don't trust you, I'm not going to share my innermost feeling or innermost thoughts. So you want to identify that this is out of the person's baseline, and you want to build trust. If you are fortunate enough and the person is able to tell you what's worrying him or her, you can offer him or her support. Sometimes the only advice you can give to the person is to seek for professional help. Other times you can help get the person through by positive thoughts and encouraging the person. I don't know whether this answers the question.
I think it does, and thank you for that. But we have a follow-up question. So someone's saying, but what if what if the person, I don't really understand this question. What if the person just wants some time alone and just wants to be by themselves? So yeah. I guess, how do you make that differentiation? That, because there are months that, you could have a month, just have a bad week, you can have a bad month, you can have a bad couple months. How do you differentiate between this is actually a depressive episode and this is not?
Yeah. So as I said, if the low mood lasts for 2 weeks or more, you should be concerned, because we go through bad weeks. But if it's lasting for more, the person may be entering into depressive state. And if the person wants to be isolated, just give the person that space, but keep checking up on the person. Ask the person, are you okay? How are you doing? Is there anything I can do to help? One day the person is just going to open up to you. But if you realize it's becoming too long, for months the person is not himself, please contact a close family member. Get help, because you don't know what the person is planning to do. It could get worse, and you feel bad for not intervening early, although you notice the signs and symptoms. But for that short period of time, just let the person know you are there. But if it's becoming long, please inform someone else and get help for that person.
Okay, thank you very much. So Tilly has got her hand up. So Tilly, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself. You can ask your question.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you. Right. I wasn't here when the program started, so I don't know the topic, but talking about depression, that's why I'm asking this question. I spoke to a lady today. She's not a friend, it's someone I've studied with. And, talking to her today, she mentioned she's depressed, one. And secondly, she's got 2 children. And the first child has a disability. And now she noticed the second child also have the same thing. Now, my question, does the GP surgery have a contact when someone is in that situation? It's like she need help, assistance for those 2 children, and she doesn't have it. Does GP have a place that they can refer this lady to, or get her assistance, someone to help her with those 2 children, because the children are 6 and 3 years. And she's going through a lot. Speaking to her, I could see she's going through a lot. Depression. She's going through a lot. Yeah.
Do you want me to take this?
Yeah, you can take it, Akusia.
So, I guess can I just get clarity on again the question? Are you saying that you because you can see that the lady is going through a depressive episode, you want help with her children or help for herself?
Yeah, help. She needed help because she's got these 2 children who have some sort of disability. Well, I asked her because I haven't seen the child. She was the 6-year having spoken. It's like the children cannot speak. Now she's noticing the 3rd one is in the same situation, and she's getting so stressed. She told me she's been depressed, no help and all that. The children are so hyper, so her focus. So I'm thinking so I was telling her, you need a help. You need someone to assist you with the children. So my question is, in this kind of situation, can the GP give this lady some sort of contact, some help, where to direct her to go to get the assistance? That's my question. Yeah.
unfortunately it's a long process. Now the simple answer to that is yes, they can, but the problem with the way the system works here in the UK is that everything is a long process. So before they are able to sort of score her or say that, you know, she's at the limit where she needs the maximum help, possibly what will happen is she'll have to have a few consultations with the GP. GP might have to refer her to the psychiatrist or for something called cognitive-based therapy. So she basically needs to go through they'd usually prescribe things like antidepressants for her, and she'll need to stay on antidepressants for a minimum of 6 months to make sure that it's not. So it's like she'll have to go through all these loops before, if she doesn't improve on any of these things, then they'll get to the final point where they then say that, do you know what, I think this person needs help, if that makes sense. So she can definitely get help, but it's just, unfortunately, it might take her longer. Now, depending on your person's financial situation, sometimes I advise people that the best thing to do, if you're able to, if you're in the UK, is to go private, because not go private for a long term, so go private for a short term. So I've done this in the past before, when, for example, if I needed a prescription and I knew that going on the GP, so for example, if you've got acne, which I did have, and you want to get like a better cream, you'd have to go through all the rubbish ones, or they say it's not working before they give you the good ones. So so if you just go straight private, and private would literally give you the good one, but once you've been prescribed the medication on private, then you can go to your GP and say, I've got this prescription from a private doctor, can I get this prescription through my GP? So it's a shortcut, but the only thing is you need to be able to go to private for short term. So if she's able to, that would be my advice to her. Try and get a private psychiatrist, even if it's just for 1 session or 2 sessions. Whatever the private psychiatrist recommend, you take it back to your GP and say, this is what I've been recommended by a psychiatrist.
Yeah, I've got the secret now. Okay.
To be fair, you can also help her. You can encourage her to do that. You can be there for her. You can be a friend. You can support her. You can just check up on her and help her with her kids, because I know it's a bit difficult in this country with all these kids.
Well, it's not someone I see, but with my profession, she gets in touch when she need my assistance. So this thing just came today. She was open up to me to tell me this, and I could see she was going through a lot. So yeah, okay. Well, I will, like you have mentioned, our next conversation, I can bring this to attention for her to do and see what she says.
Yeah, I mean, somebody in the chat also said something about maybe speaking to the children's school family support worker if they've got one. Sometimes I know people avoid this because, you know, they're scared that the children might be taken away from them.
That's what she told me. We mentioned that. She said, oh, no, she doesn't want to involve them too much, because once they come in, that's why the next thing they are taking your children away. And so, we spoke on that line. Well, thank you.
No worries. Thanks, Tilly. I think Frank had their hand up, but the hand's gone down now. So I don't know if they still want to ask a question. But there's also something in the chat that says possibly the most people in diaspora have the symptoms because they are isolated. I don't know, Jenifer, if you agree with that, or if is there a reason why you think people in the diaspora, because it's quite true. I think a lot of the time, well, I've come across before, I never even, when I was younger, I thought depression and all, mental health was not a disease in the Black community because of where we grew up from. And not to say it doesn't exist, but definitely I think in Africa, and my experience of Ghana is that we look down, or not that we look down, but we almost don't really acknowledge mental health as much as we should. But I also do think that our environmental and our community factors play an important role. So I don't know if you've got any comments on that in terms of, being in diaspora and how that might affect our mental health.
That's very true. That's very true, because you have a lot to think of if you are in diaspora. You have a lot of things going on in your life and you need support, because last time someone also told me even poverty could cause depression and a lot of things. So it's a whole network of things which comes in place to cause depression and mental health states. And when you take off that thing causing the mental health issues, like if someone doesn't have a job and you have to provide the person a job, it takes away the mental health issues sometimes, and it's a bit surprising.
Okay. I think someone's asking about maternity and postnatal depression. So they were just saying that in terms of everything that you've said and the symptoms for depression, are those the same symptoms you'll experience after giving birth, or will there be different symptoms you need to look out for when you've just had a baby?
Yeah, so when you've just have a baby, you get postpartum blues sometimes, and it can progress into postpartum depression. What makes a postpartum depression worse is that this time you like your baby, but you just feel your baby is better off than you. You can harm yourself, you can harm your baby. So there are two people involved now, yourself and the baby, which makes postpartum depression a bit critical. So you need to speak to your GP, you need to speak to your doctor once you start experiencing postpartum depression, because your husband is sometimes affected. You don't give the affection and care to your husband. You don't take care of yourself. You don't eat very well. You don't feed your kid as you're supposed to do. So those are the bits and bobs which adds up to the normal depression when you are experiencing postpartum depression. So I don't know whether it answers the question.
Yeah, I think, well, I will agree with what you said. In terms of even the symptoms that you get, it's similar, but on a case it's even worse. I mean, having had the experience myself, if you, like you were talking about the postpartum blues and it transitioned into the postpartum depression. So the postpartum blues, it could just be even sometimes just looking at your baby and maybe not feeling any affection for the baby. Not that you don't love the baby, but, if a baby is making you so tired that you're constantly awake, he's crying, or he or she's crying through the night, they'll get to a time where you might feel a bit fed up. You might just feel like, you know what, I just don't have time to deal with this baby. I feel like a lot of the time a lot of women feel like it's unnatural to feel that way, and then they start to feel guilty or start to criticize themselves to say that they feel like they're bad mothers for feeling like they just want some time away from the baby. And the advice is there's nothing wrong with wanting some time away from your baby. And actually, if anything, you need some time away from your baby to clear your head, because I think if you're constantly there within that space, within that crying space where, and you're constantly feeling down and you're not giving yourself that space, this is where you start to feel really overwhelmed. And as it boils up and boils up and boils up, and then it's sort of, it blows out of the can. So my advice to anybody who feels like there's nothing wrong with, handing the baby to your husband, your mother, whoever's your support network, and just being like, maybe I just need 2 hours by myself, go into your room, locking yourself in your room and just putting on some loud music and just relaxing, or whatever you do. If it's going for a swim, if it's going out with your friends or whatever, you need some time away from a baby. It's very, very important. Okay. And it doesn't make you a bad mother. And Theo is asking, does postpartum depression ever go away?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Does postpartum depression go away?
Okay, so postpartum depression can go away with the right support and the right help. But what I've realized is that people tend to experience it often. So with your first baby, if you had postpartum depression, it's very likely your next baby, you're going to have postpartum depression. So it goes away with the right help, but you can't say the person is not going to have postpartum depression in the subsequent birth. But you need to get that right support from your medical staff. And what I would advise you to do is, once you've already experienced postpartum depression, you have to inform your midwife that this is what you mostly experience after birth. So they keep an eye on you. I think there is this questionnaire they allow you to fill. And if you score higher, they get to know you are at high chances of getting postpartum depression. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And just like everything, I always say this: if we think about depression, is actually mental, as a mental disease, it's a disease. So a lot of the time we say there are some diseases, for example, if you get a cold, don't do anything, it will go away. But even with that, it's not that you don't do anything. You still have to take care of yourself. You know, you might not take any medication, but you need to drink warm water. You need to keep yourself hydrated. You need to rest. You need to take paracetamol. So you need to do all these things for it to go away. In the same way, depression, you need to look after yourself. So if you get a postpartum depression and you don't do anything about it, then it's unlikely for it to go away. And this is what Jenifer was saying is very important. Actually, it's very imperative that you seek professional help. You need to talk to either your midwife, you know, your GP, or whoever, your support network, because if you don't do something about it, then it's got more of a chance. It might go away slightly, but it will always be niggling in the back there because you've actually not dealt with the root cause. So, we need to make the differentiation between baby blues and sort of actual postpartum depression, because the baby blues might just be a transient feeling that you get, and you know, and that's it. But but once you go into actual postpartum depression, I think you actually need to deal with the depression, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Dr. Akosua waho, and I am so who screen is papa. T Beauty at T Beauty UK wa peja in San Swache. Me dear you me concern ya abna. Hackers in fa name ko e de mpacho hwehwe ne man why.
Auntie Liz, me boy with these as maybe I want. I don't think so now.
Oh boy, we say na wo me but na me ka me tie pa.
It's akwaba. Yeah.
Me so bacho abna aden went me ansi amaso.
So once you are removed from the Zoom meeting, like once you're actually removed, you can't come back. And
so somebody removed her.
Yeah, somebody actually removed her. And we've tried, say she'll log in with my details, she'll try log in with another details, but I think it's probably the device. So the device because the device she was using was the one that was removed. No matter what login she's trying to use to get in, she's not able to access it. So unfortunately, we can't get her back for today.
This is the second time this has happened. Why is it that they're always hacking this particular program? I don't understand it.
So I think that, with everything that's good and something that, you're getting knowledge out of, I feel like it's just I have a feeling it's a means of sabotage. So we are working with it, and we're talking to people about how to make the space more secure. In the sense of for people who are here who are worried about, their personal data and things like that, rest assured that when the hackers come in, they're not able to access your personal data, and they're not able to, actually get anything from this. The purpose of this whole thing is just to sabotage the program, which we don't understand. And Auntie Liz, you mentioned the T Beauty UK and our man in Sass, and I have a feeling say he's one of the hackers. That's why I'm not calling him.
Yeah. In the picture,
why would you think I'm one of the hackers?
Baby, this picture I recognize.
Now you know me how I feel and say it, because the last time the person that came on, they had a picture of a Caucasian guy, and they're the person that hacked the last show. So when I saw the picture of the Caucasian guy, I was not going to go there.
That's not a Caucasian. That's me. Oh wow!
Hey, who are you?
And we do apologize on behalf of Dr. Akosua. You are not a hacker. You are somebody. I know that picture. I don't recognize the name, but I know the picture.
That's fine. But yeah, anyway. So what was it? What I was talking about. Now, as soon as we let the people let people talk, then it becomes a thing where people are, then the hackers start coming. So
you mislead a free, so you remove mislead.
Mislead.
Wait, say,
oh my fucking goodness, my ass is so horny. Fuck me in the ass, Jenifer. Jennifer, you're a big fat stupid bitch, you fucking motherfucker.
Come.
Jennifer, you're a dumb bitch. You're a dumb bitch, Jennifer. You're an ugly dumb bitch.
Make me the host. Make me the host.
Cock, you fucking motherfucking piece of shit. Fucking assholes. Suck my cock. Suck my big ass cock, you monkeys. Suck my big ass cock.
Mr. Mankwa, me offer was any scabania dear any project. As to the bia me offer sick a man your problem.
Enemremu. Namonte tap sending ka.
No so nedia.
Tap send ye easy, fast and secured way. Ubetimi send this free amanone. Aba Ghana bank account and as a mobile money account. Untia transfer fee bia.
Sir, I will buy anything.
Chinese won't call App Store na Play Store. On download the TAPTAP Send app no. Or download ya. Ebebu sanso promo code. Oma the pet TV shim. Obenya €5, £5, and answer $10 on his first transfer.
And you make kwa friend a catch them.
Tabi minyanwe. Esansa TAPTAP Send at the good news aba. TAPTAP Send the the customers won't or the TAPTAP Send wallet aba.
I know about anything.
So your customer who you cases here. Ubetimi akọ TAPTAP Send app no create wallet woso. Enti se rate ne kosora now the sika kogu wallet no. Anase mpo obetimi atosusu nkakra. Enti abere sema opeso send sika ba Ghana no. No anse wa send sika na ba Ghana. Anase oba o my Ghana mu a watimi use sika e wo wallet no no. Tie.
And you said to say you use momo Ghana hey no.
Sa pepe. Se si TAPTAP Send a trainer shim. Kopium wo United Arab Emirates, Netherlands, and Austria. TAPTAP Send now. Papa no.
After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartment, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination, with fantastic residential features which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Sultan Sky, a new perspective in the sky.
Makuma sana simo ayeye nyunyo minyankopon yemelina sona misakeyo
London, it's your time and your turn. Shades of Grace Movie Premiere UK 2024, taking place at the Odeon Cinema, Greenwich, Buxby Way, London, SC10 OQJ. Grab your tickets at www.dpgministry.com. It's happening on Saturday, 25th of May 2024. London, it's your time and it's your turn. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be an amazing night. You can't afford to miss this. To God be all the glory.
Onye cash, chopping and spending the cash. No mercy for money. You don't cash. Last. Now everybody go job breakfast. Ayo.
See with the eye of the spirit, and I can tell joy is far from you. Prayed. You have wept. You have fasted. You have travailed. Now it's time to rest in the faith that God is not a man that he should lie.